Alright. Let's start. This is going to be very serious. Let's take a look. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. This video is very important, so let's jump straight into it.
I'm on the couch, the thumbnail looks like this, or maybe even, if we're feeling spicy. So, you know, this episode is probably going to be serious, and it is. One of the most serious ones of these couch times, these mat chats that we've had. So, let's just hop into it. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory for...
Welcome to Game Theory for, quite risky.
What could honestly be one of the last times? Because in 1 month, we're getting ourselves a new year, a new decade, and most importantly of all...
Quite a sad year actually, 2020. But yeah, look at the bright side. The Game Theorists, their channel have not closed because of this video. They are still making videos in 2021. So
a new YouTube, one that threatens to wipe out huge chunks of content and content creators that you know and love and have been watching since you were young.
Yes, to be honest, back then, when this video came out, I was already producing videos regularly.
Especially the ones that you've been watching since you were young.
True.
And if you're a content creator on this platform right now, I'm telling you right here that you have got to be nervous about what 2020 is bringing to your life and to your channel. What we're talking about today should, for all intents and purposes, have some positive effects. Be careful what you wish for, friends, since it'll be taking with it, well, it's actually hard to tell how far-reaching this thing's gonna get. But if you're a channel like Dan the Diamond Minecart, Collins Key, Guava Juice, if you play or enjoy watching Roblox, if you're a gaming channel in general, but especially a Minecraft channel, you better be worried about what 2020 has to offer.
Yes, and that's the thing. In 2020, this thing, I'm glad that this video came out because it's a real concern for all the YouTubers. I was a small content YouTuber. No, I'm still am, but having said that, yes, thank you so much. But look at my site. Because of this, right, there were room for improvements.
The YouTube animation community, finally back and thriving after years of struggling to find a foothold on this platform, they're at risk. Heck, after surviving years of press outlets trying to take him down, it might even be the thing to finally sink the captain of the old 9-year-old army over there, PewDiePie. And I'm not calling out any of these channels without reason.
True.
They need, and we all need, to be aware.
Oh my god, PewDiePie back then only have 102 million subscribers. My gosh, right now he have like 120 plus, 130 plus million subscribers. That's a lot of interest. Just saying.
Of what's coming, and we need to start talking.
Definitely not jealous
About it. We as content creators need to start telling our stories. Heck, we might even need to be changing our content. And most importantly, we need to spread awareness of this massive sledgehammer that's going to be hitting our channels and, more importantly, our communities in literally 1 month. And it's time that we break the silence about the impact it's going to have here on YouTube.
I'm very glad that MadPat made this video to voice out his concerns about COPPA. COPPA. C-O-P-P-A.
I wish that what I was talking about right now were funny or clickbait in some way, but it's not a joke and it's not a play for views. It's the fallout of a recent settlement between the FTC and YouTube about what content is and isn't allowed to have advertisements on the platform.
That's the thing, in the United States of America, it's not the globe.
You might have seen some of this addressed by channels like Phil DeFranco, Lindsay Ellis, a few other people out there, and they might have mentioned terms like FTC, COPPA, advertising laws, or you might have noticed some of the articles circulating about YouTube having to pay a massive fine in websites like The Verge or The New York Times. Now, why should you care about some random law or YouTube having to pay some big fine? You don't know your FTC from your FDA from your WTF. And none of this has anything to do with you or what you watch on YouTube, right? Wrong. But to understand why YouTube channels might be disappearing, or at the very least, their content might be changing substantially from what you've grown accustomed to, we have to look at what's been happening over the last couple years on YouTube first. Clearly, YouTube over the last 2 years has been really working to navigate the tricky waters of kids' content. It really began back in 2017 with ElsaGate, where YouTube suddenly came under fire for the sheer volume of adults choosing to dress up in Spider-Man costumes in their spare time and then chase around the frozen Princess Elsa for about 15 minutes, uploading it onto the platform and profiting. Sometimes, to really spice up the formula of those videos, the Joker would be mixed in too and trying to woo Elsa. Sometimes Elsa was even pregnant. It was top-tier quality kids content. No, it wasn't. It was just a weird time. And YouTube agreed, wiping out those channels from the platform as well as other questionable kids content. Then, earlier this year, YouTube came under fire yet again, when it was found out that the comment sections in some kids' channels were becoming message boards for... how do I put this? You know, the kind of people who would watch kids' channels and are old enough and creepy enough to use the comment section. Type down there. Yeah, you get it, right?
Yes,
and I'm not talking about mothers who are sharing parenting tips down there. Fine, YouTube makes it so that comments are disabled on those videos. Another problem solved. Boom, moving on with our lives. But it's the most recent controversy that suddenly pulled in creators large and small without any of us actually realizing it. You see, a few months ago, YouTube was fined for violating COPPA. That's these guys right here. The Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, which was established way back in the aught days of 1998, back when the internet really started to take hold and kids realized that it was the cool place to be. Well, during that time, advertisers also realized that it was the cool place to be because, quite frankly, it was a place that they could market lots of stuff to gullible kids. So
I was one of the more gullible kids. I understand what he meant.
COPPA was put in place to...
You need to have a strong parenting discipline, the perseverance, have the moral compass of teaching what's right, what's wrong, and what's the illusion that the kids may not be able to differentiate the facades in it.
Keep children's websites from collecting data about kids under 13 without their parents' permission. Now, why would you do that? Well, the idea is that children are impressionable, and they can't distinguish ads from regular content. So it's unfair and unethical to advertise to them. And this principle isn't wrong by any means. It's actually been proven time and again by science. I've actually talked about it before over on Film Theory during my episode that looks at the scarily illegal merchandising practices of Jake Paul. So, if you want more information on children's development as it relates to advertising, or are just looking for more reasons to dunk on Mr. Everyday Bro, I'll leave a link down in the description. The long and short of it is that with all the data on people that's available on the internet, advertisements can just get scarily personal. And I think we can all agree that it is not okay to get too personal when you're dealing with someone else's kid.
With someone else's kids, it's never too okay, alright? It's never alright. Never alright. With someone else's kids, alright? You must show discipline. If you cross the line, step back. Apologize. We are all humans. Apologize. Say sorry. Alright? You, look over here. Look over here. Say you're sorry. Understand? Yes or no?
So COPPA then was meant to be the solution to this problem, basically telling websites, hey, don't go collecting creepy data on kids like where they live, what school they go to, why they were picked last at dodgeball last week. Fine, that's all well and good, totally valid. But the original writing of this law is, I mean, it's laughable. According to the act, you can only collect data on kids if you get a parent's permission through methods such as the following. Having parents sign a consent form returned to the operator of the website by postal mail or facsimile. Literally, they have to send a permission slip for a website through the mail, or get this, a toll-free number that parents could call and or an email accompanied by a valid digital signature. Sign a consent form for the internet, and then fax it in to the good people who are working at YouTube, who will put you in their little file folder of, I'm sure, the millions to billions of people using the website. I had a conversation a couple weeks ago with YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki, and she told me that sometimes she's trying to explain YouTube to lawmakers who literally don't own a cell phone.
What? I mean, these lawmakers shouldn't be making the laws then. They don't know what they don't know, and it's scary to think that I know everything, I study law. Don't do that. Keep up the times, alright? If you don't know what you don't know, apologize. You watching this video right now, if you don't have if you don't know what you don't know, apologize. Learn. Hi, is it alright for me to teach you? Is it alright for you to teach me? Is it really that hard to put yourself lower so they can learn something new?
People making laws on this stuff don't own cell phones in 2019.
In 2021 as well.
I mean, when you read laws like COPPA, I feel like you start to get an idea of what she's dealing with here. But here's the thing. YouTube should have won this battle, but then they had to go and screw it all up. You see, technically speaking, YouTube has been COPPA compliant for years. YouTube is a PG-13 platform. I mean, sure, it contains lots of ABC videos, and Ping Fong's Baby Shark has been watched nearly 4 billion times. 4 billion views.
More than that, actually. This video came out in the year 2019, which is around 2 years ago. Just saying, that's definitely more than 4 billion. More than 4 billion. Just saying.
On that video. Remember when we were all like freaking out that Psy's Gangnam Style crossed the 1 billion mark? I contributed 5 views to Baby Shark this morning. In fact, just all kids' things gravitate towards it. It's like a gravity well. But regardless of the success of that one very specific song, in order to sign up for an account here, you have to be 13. Do people lie about their age? Sure, but according to YouTube's own terms of service, you have to be 13 to be on this website, specifically because of all of these reasons. YouTube, go figure, is collecting data for its advertisers. That is the whole point of us producing videos here. That's their whole business model. YouTube Kids, that separate website, that separate app, that is supposed to be the place to adhere to all of these rules. On YouTube proper, everything is 13 plus. There's an argument to be made here that it's up to the parents to read the terms of service for the stuff that their kids are using and then decide if they're comfortable with the ads showing up in front of those kids. I mean, it's not YouTube's job to babysit their children. Or, at least, that should be the argument that's happening here. But then YouTube had to go and open its big mouth and screw it all up. You see, over the years, YouTube has spent a lot of time touting the fact that kids are practically crawling all over the platform. And of course, when you put stuff like that on paper, it's gonna come back and haunt you. And in 2019, it finally did. The FTC compiled a whole bunch of statements from YouTube as a part of this fine, where representatives tell advertisers things like this. Quote, "It's the #1 place for kids' online content."
Why do you say this stupid stuff?
And, quote again, "YouTube is today's leader in reaching
6 to
children
11, why do you mention it?
ages 6 to 11. Guys, come on.
You are shooting yourself in the foot, you know.
YouTube is unanimously voted the #1 website visited for kids. It just keeps going and going. Come on, YouTube! You thought PewDiePie over there was the one making oopsies for the past 2 years? So, lo and behold, the FTC fines YouTube $170 million, basically telling them, hey, you guys clearly knew that there were a lot of kids using YouTube Main, not YouTube Kids, and you didn't do anything to sort that out. In fact, you were kind of bragging about it, so pay up. And you know what? It's kind of true. Now, again, those kids should have all been using their parents' account, meaning that they should all have permission from their parents, or at the minimum, implicit permission from their parents. I mean, sure, it's no Pony Express telegraph wire to the YouTube home office in San Bruno like COPPA requests, but, you know, technology changes over the years. Maybe parents should be paying attention to the fact that those toy unboxing videos kind of look like commercials. Anyway,
maybe the parents should have paid more attention. I mean, you are a parent, do parenting job properly. Just saying.
not here to take sides because honestly, it's too late. We're way.
There's always room for improvements if you did your parenting job wrongly. If I'm a parent, it's not if I'm a parent, when I'm a parent, right, I will definitely make mistakes. And to be honest, if I make mistakes, that means I got more room for improvements. Is it correct? I will make mistakes. I will definitely make mistakes.
Beyond arguing sides because now, in addition to that cool 170 mil, YouTube's settlement involves them agreeing to take action to separate advertisers from kids' content on the platform. What does that exactly mean? Well, the FTC has basically said that ads targeting kids aren't allowed on kids' content. That's the whole point of COPPA that we've been talking about. Anything labeled as kids' content on YouTube, therefore, will lose what are known as targeted ads starting January 1st, 2020.
Wow.
It's unclear how much of a typical YouTuber's ad revenue comes from targeted ads, but from our research, it seems to be between 80 and 90%.
80 to 90% of everything from YouTuber who do this full time comes from ad. 80 to 90%. Think about it.
Meaning
for some it's 100%, right?
That if a creator is losing targeted ads on their video, they lose up to 90% of their ad revenue. Now, most people you and I know couldn't afford to lose 80 to 90% of their salary at their job, and this is gonna stay true even for big YouTubers. Since most of them at this point aren't just paying themselves, but paying a team of people around them who work for them to edit, produce their videos, do all the other cool
I kind of need money to eat in this current society.
stuff that YouTubers are doing for their community. But I hear what you're saying. I'm not a kid. Or at the very least, I'm not under 13. I don't watch kids' content. This law doesn't affect me or the videos that I watch or the creators that I love. But ask yourself this. Are you sure about that? Because here's how YouTube currently defines kids' content. It's content that, quote, intentionally is aimed at kids, includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures. 3, has a predominantly child audience, and 4, contains activities that appeal to children.
No!
Okay, so some of the stuff here is obvious, right? Like a toy unboxing video, or my son Oliver's favorite song, Freeze Dance, Freeze Song, Freeze Dance for Kids, Music for Kids by the Kaboomers.
Alright.
Wow, that is literally the title of the video. It's almost like kids' content on YouTube is engineered to attract kids by gaming search algorithms. Go figure. But look again at those 4 qualifiers. A lot of stuff on YouTube falls into a weird gray area with those bullet points. You ever watch a slime video? Okay.
Raw activities kids like. Ta-da!
Okay, well, it's not surprising that that would attract a child audience and have things that appeal to kids. What about pancake art? Sure, I don't see too many adults making art on their pancakes. But what about a video with title and thumbnail like this? That's from the Jake Paul channel, who has explicitly stated that his audience is predominantly preteens, and whose videos contain 4-year-olds.
Yeah, my audience is definitely younger. I would say it's like 8 years old to like 16 years old.
One look at the audience who shows up for his live tour, and you see that he's not wrong about the demographics of his audience. So if this sort of stuff is what the kids are watching, the lines start to get blurry really fast. What about How It Should Have Ended? Or Whitney Avalon's Elsa versus Snow White rap battles. I mean, both of those channels feature characters that are popular with the kids. What about the animated storytellers of YouTube? Those characters are fun, and they're cute, and they're approachable, and they're appealing, and they're telling funny stories that relate to all ages, but definitely to kids under 13. How about a little bit closer to home, here on this channel in the gaming space? Roblox? Yeah, that one's gonna take a big hit, but how about Minecraft? Like a channel who does in-game builds or uses characters to tell storylines. Minecraft is obviously a game we understand that's for all ages, but a lot of children play it. A lot of children watch that sort of content, so where does that line get drawn? Pokemon? Yeah, it's a nostalgic property, but it's still one of the biggest games for kids these days. And then there's Fortnite, still one of the biggest games in the world played by kids of all ages, but I can't tell you how many teenagers and under I've seen in the mall in front of dressing room mirrors doing the floss. Where does that fall? What if you curse a lot, but you still call your audience the 9-year-old army? Cues, or you have big reactions to scary games that kids could find funny. Haha, tee, look at the adult man screaming at the computer screen. All of them, rightfully or no, could be losing 80 to 90% of their salary in a month. I don't know where some of these channels fall. I don't know how you make that call. And I'm sure that not many people at YouTube, and definitely at the FTC, knows how to make that call either. The problem now is that every channel on YouTube has to self-identify whether or not they believe that their videos are attractive to kids before January 2020. We all got a form to fill out, sent to our emails, sent in our video manager. So we don't have long to make these decisions. In real talk, even for me, who has always intended this channel to be a high school and up channel, where we talk about things like astrophysics or cyber hacking or the DSM-5 and abnormal psychology, I feel nervous about this, right? Because we talk about Pokemon and Minecraft and Nintendo properties, stuff that kids like to watch.
Yes, kids like to watch. That's exactly correct. And that's a very gray area.
YouTubers who exist in this weird gray area
correct. This worries everyone.
Have even started talking about adding a string of expletives to the beginning of every one of their videos to help solidify the fact that their video is indeed intended for adults. That is how uncertain the YouTube community is feeling about this. The irony of the whole thing is that just a few months ago, I was talking about how YouTube was killing gaming, or more accurately, how brand safety was killing gaming. How games like Mortal Kombat and Call of Duty will struggle to survive in a system that, because of advertiser fears, limits the visibility of those sorts of videos. They're violent, they're too edgy. And that was actually confirmed by Susan in her interview with me.
We realized that simulated violence and game violence is very different, of course, than real violence.
Yeah.
And so we're actually going to be separating them.
But now you have yourself the direct opposite of that problem. Things that are suddenly too brand safe, too kid friendly are getting hit from the other direction. So everything on YouTube is being squeezed toward this middle ground. It's just gonna end up being like a mass of gray goo, bland, middle of the road, not interesting.
It's very, very, very concerning, isn't it? Even in 2021, this problem back in 2019 is a good lesson for us to learn.
Can't be edgy, but you can't be too family friendly. You might attract too many kids. Welcome to the new face of YouTube, where we sit on a couch and can't talk about anything you're interested in, but also can't be edgy enough to be funny. This, my friends, is the content that you'll be getting. Let's cut to a guy teaching us how to write a master's thesis. Make sure he's standing in front of a very neutral whiteboard.
O stands for
Very neutral whiteboard.
operational.
He will be the #1 most subscribed channel on YouTube. Make it happen, Mark Proctor. YouTube, through it all, have been laying low. They're very adamant that they're not giving legal advice to help anyone categorize their content. And it kind of makes sense, because if they were, it would be, first off, an impossible task. YouTube is way too big to possibly decide what's kid content from what isn't, and no existing AI can accurately sort that sort of thing out. But just as importantly, if YouTube did offer that advice to creators, and the FTC disagreed with that ruling for whatever reason, YouTube would be the one legally responsible. So, as long as YouTube doesn't make that decision, they can stand aside, look the other way if, you know, the FTC decides to bring the hammer down on a couple of channels to make an example out of anyone. And the FTC can do that to get this, the tune of over $42,000 per video for any video that they feel has been miscategorized as not for kids, when in reality they feel like it was kids' content. Imagine a channel who's been posting daily family vlogs for 4 years, and all of a sudden you're hit with $42,000 of fines for each of your last 600 videos? Penalties like this could wipe out families. They could wipe out businesses overnight. There is nothing standing between the entire federal agency of the FTC
In the United States of America,
and us independent YouTubers. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot that we as individual content creators can do in this situation, except what I'm doing now. talking about it, raising awareness, telling you about the trouble that we'll be facing in 2020. At the end of the day, this isn't about condemning.
The problems that we are going to face in 2020 is going to be more severe than that, but this will be a good concern for us as content creators. It's a very niche role, it's a very niche area, but it's still very important. Being a content creator, being a YouTuber. Thank you so much.
YouTube for making mistakes about how they advertise their platform, and it isn't about condemning the FTC for doing their job and trying to protect the kids. It's just about bringing the issue to light. As a content creator, I recognize that it's in all of our best interests to educate everything from creators to audiences to, yes, even the FTC, who don't know how to watch this platform, but maybe we can get the information to them via facsimile. That's the word.
Facsimile.
Right now, content creators just don't understand how to categorize our content. We need more guidance because we're being forced into what is, quite honestly, a legal guessing game with our entire livelihoods on the line. It's like the worst test possible. And for every incorrect answer, you lose not a grade point, you lose $42,000. Jeez. No curve on that one. The FTC, meanwhile, doesn't understand how incredibly broad the spectrum of online content is, how nuanced some of this stuff can be. There's a ton of content out there that's not aimed at kids that could very well be in danger of being miscategorized, and that's going to be hurtful to everyone. And finally, audiences. You guys, the viewers at home, you don't currently understand that some of the creators that you've loved and followed for years are in serious jeopardy, and in some cases could be demonetized out of existence in 2020. Or have to change their entire content calendars to something that feels more mature, not as child-friendly, in order to survive. We have to take the brunt any way you look at it. We're still in the middle of all this, and I strongly encourage you to read more about it. I left a bunch of links down in the description below, so whether you're a fan or a creator, just get informed. The FTC
I'm a fan and a creator. A small creator, by the way, and a small fan.
is also accepting comments on these new laws that could help shape where they go in the future. So put in your well thought out comments and questions there. No rage comments, my friends. We gotta be thoughtful, considerate, and articulate. In this case, we all need to work together to be advocates for not just our favorite creators, but the platform that we exist on. So talk about it, share information, empower your favorite creators with the information they need to protect themselves moving forward into 2020, and fingers crossed that we'll all be around to talk about this again next year.
Oh gosh, this video did not age well. Gosh.
That's a scary thought. You know how you could help, though? By buying our merch!
Holiday theory wear. Rulings that threaten the future of this channel. Worst present ever. Getting cool new merch while helping support us into the new year. Best present ever. So screw COPPA while getting yourself some TOPPA, the line merch for this holiday season. It's available right below this video in that handy dandy merch shelf that you see down there. We've got everything this year, from a Game Theory Switch case. Yeah, we made a Nintendo Switch case. To what is my new favorite shirt to wear literally everywhere, the Game Theory Hype Jersey. It's loose with thumb holes, even has a cute little detail like this. It's just one little dot in this overall pattern, but I think it's so cute. Little details like that make me be like, ooh, I'm so proud of this. You want to be comfy and cozy this winter? Snuggle up by pairing that Hype Jersey with our black and green lounge pants. Perfect for binge watching Netflix or episodes of Game Theory. Or do you plan on braving the weather, heading out into the cold? Well, I got you covered there too. Check out this flight jacket. It's one part hoodie and one part windbreaker. It's even got patches that you can swap around with your friends. The story behind this item is that we actually heard from some of you that you get made fun of for wearing YouTuber merch.
Oh,
First
Velcro.
off, that sucks. Screw whoever's doing that to you. They're probably sad and lonely and depressed, and just remember you'll probably be their boss one day. Secondly, though, if you do want to still wear your Theorist Pride and Stealth mode, well, the flight jacket's got you covered. You just take the patches off. Or if you want it to be a Game Theory
just to go.
X Markiplier piece of merch, well, you'll have the Game Theory patch, and you'll just have to make a Markiplier patch. Or odd ones out, or whatever. It can be a YouTuber celebration jacket. Who knows? But enough about that. You know what else I heard from some of you? That sometimes you don't like a certain theory. Well, you can do what Stephanie did during the merch shoot and hit me with a box, or you can take it out on the Matt Pat collectible tumbler. Extra thick along the bottom so it rocks back and forth. It's like the modern day bobblehead. There's more too in this collection, like a t-shirt, a new hoodie dress, an ugly Christmas sweater for all your holiday parties, all of which are available right now. Just click on the merch shelf below this video or go to creatorinc.com. Forget Black Friday, make it Black and Theorist Green Friday. Quantities are limited though, so once they're gone, they're gone. And honestly, thank you all so much for considering buying merch and just supporting us over the years. This COPPA stuff really does have us worried, so anything that you can do to help really makes a difference. But just know that you watching and supporting us is really all that matters. Thank you, and we'll see you, well, next week. I was going to say next year, but it's not even close. It's about a month. So thank you all, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you so much. And I sincerely appreciate that you enjoyed this video as much as I do. Note that this video is very important for all of us to watch. I personally watched this video like 5-10 times before doing these reaction videos. Like back in 2019, 2020, and even 2021, like a lot of times. And I have to say that it's very educational for us to ask these kind of important questions. Thank you so much. Sincerely appreciate it. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. That's not theory. That happened. Room for improvements. Room for improvements. Thank you so much for watching this video. This video came out from the YouTube channel, The Game Theorists. This video came out in the year 2019, which is around 2 years ago, so yeah. If you do like this video, please consider to watch more of their videos from the YouTube channel, The Game Theorists, and drop a follow. Drop a subscribe, watch more of the channel, and support them. I'm just a huge fan of their work, and I hope that you are too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.